And it's like if they catch on and double team them, then they got to have other options.
I think the game of the year so far might have been 49ers versus Saints. That shit was crazy, yo. I just finished watching the highlights of that game, and I remember just following the game on my phone as this Baltimore Buffalo game was going. And it just seemed like it was literally just a back and forth affair. Like that was a true heavyweight contender fight.
Yeah,
and they just hit each other with haymakers, yo. Shout out to Jimmy G. That boy showed me something again. Like, he's one of those quarterbacks where you just don't know.
Yeah.
You just don't, like, is he really that dude that can lead a team to a Super Bowl?
Right. That's exactly what I was thinking.
You know what I mean? But to his credit, man, like, the Saints, they got off to a hot start. San Francisco answered back, and then Saints scored again. And then the second quarter, San Fran, they just exchanged blows again. And, like, the whole game was like that. But there was certain points at that time, it just felt like the Saints were just going to grab the momentum and kind of take off from there.
Right.
But then Jimmy G would come right back and lead his team down for a score. You know what I mean?
He's becoming that guy.
Yeah, he really is. He really is. I was impressed. From what I saw. Joey Bosa also, by the way, even though the defense, they gave up fucking 46 points, he made some very key plays as well.
I was gonna say that even though the defense, like, they got scored on a lot, they held in there with the Saints. Cause Drew Brees could have easily threw for more if he wanted to.
Seriously, man, and you know, Drew Brees, shout out to him, 29 of 40, 349 and 5 touchdowns. He was out of his mind. Yeah, that was just, I did not expect that high of a scoring game.
Right.
Like, especially, like, it's crazy to see how San Fran, the different styles that they could play. Like, literally last week in Baltimore, it was old school grit and grind, run the ball in the rain, defense, last possession type style game. And then they come into New Orleans the week after, and then literally it's the complete opposite. Like, literally the complete opposite of what the Baltimore game was. It's high flying, throw the ball down the field. Well, then it still came down to the last possession. Though that final drive so after the Saints had scored the go ahead touchdown and then they missed a 2-point conversion, that final drive by the San Fran when on the fourth and 2, I think, and Jimmy G was able to deliver to Kittle, and that dude had got the catch and then ran down the field for like an extra 30-40 yards. That was a man's run right there. Dude was like tucking out his face mask and everything. He's refusing to go down.
He was not letting it happen. He had to run that clock out.
Yeah, man. He's a beast. Shout out to George Kittle, man. Shout out to George Kittle. He's a beast. I fucks with him. But yeah, that game was crazy. And now the 49ers again are back in the 1 seed in the NFC. With Seattle losing to the LA Rams, which I did not see coming.
No, I did not see that either. That's
I don't even know what to say about this. The Rams dominated that game.
Yeah, because it's like the Rams are again, they're either hit or miss. You never know how Goff is going to do.
Right.
And then I was like, I'm a huge fan of Russell Wilson.
Same here.
Aside from football, that dude's just super nice.
Yeah, he's a good dude overall. Yeah, he's just an excellent person.
And he's an elite quarterback, but it's like, man, they couldn't get anything going. And it was just like, I felt bad because I was like, man, I don't want to watch this right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't a good game, honestly. Like, if you're a Rams fan, obviously you enjoyed it. But the Seahawks really couldn't do nothing on offense. The Rams defense just completely took them out the game. They was all over Russell Wilson the entire game. Like, he had no protection.
Yeah.
And he did hold onto the ball fairly long on a lot of times, a lot of possessions there. But it was just like every other play. Like, the Rams was bringing a blitz. They was coming after him. And they was hitting him. They was fucking him up. Jared Goff. I'm still not a Jared Goff guy, but for the most part, he performed admirably. He did throw that pick 6. That was bad.
Yeah.
And
he threw a couple picks yesterday.
Yeah, he threw Seattle's 2 of them.
Defense, I feel Seattle's defense kept them in.
Yeah, for the most part.
Like, what, three and outs?
Mm-hmm.
Right in the fourth quarter or something?
Yep.
But it's just the offense couldn't get anything going.
Yep, Diggs had 2 picks. He had the pick 6, and then he had the other pick against Goff down the field there, but they just really couldn't capitalize. Now, the defense, for the most part, they try to do their part, but then it's just one of those things, man. You keep putting your defense out on the field, eventually they're going to crack.
Yeah,
you got to give them some type of offensive support. You know, you just can't keep going where I don't know. That's pretty much all the games there that I wanted to talk about for the most part. The Colts, they kind of blew their game against the Buccaneers.
Right.
Lost 35-38. I know my man Johnson is sick about that. Let's see here. Packers beat the Redskins. Kind of expected that. The Jets beat the Dolphins on a last-minute possession, field goal win. And then the Steelers continue their wheeling. Yo, shout out to Mike Tomlin. Shout out to the Steelers. They got a third-string quarterback in there right now, and they're 8-5.
Yeah, they're doing what they can. You know what I mean?
And they're probably going to make the playoffs. Like, at this point, I wouldn't doubt Pittsburgh making the playoffs. They still got some tough games coming up, though. But they're playing old-school Steelers ball right now. Like, defense, run the ball, don't turn the ball over. It's literally back to old-school Steelers ball, man. So, shout out to Mike Tomlin. He got that team balling right now. Big night game tonight. Monday nighter for the Eagles, at least, I should say. Eagles against Giants. Quick pick. Who you got in that game?
I'm going to take the Eagles on that one. So I like the Eagles on that.
I don't even know if I want to pick them, man, because it seems like they get an opportunity to take the division lead or tie the division lead, and then they just blow it again.
Right. Like, who's playing for the Giants tonight? Is it
Eli?
Eli's starting, right?
Eli is starting
back.
Eli is starting tonight.
You know what? Who knows? He could absolutely go off and I gotta make a stand. This is it.
That shit is crazy, yo. The Eagles should win. I picked them to win when I did the recording on Friday. I think I picked them to win 24-10. Yeah, 24-10. But at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if they lose. I honestly wouldn't. I would not be surprised if they lose this game.
A game they should win, they may lose.
That's a big fact. All right, man. Let's go ahead and wrap that up on football. Let's talk some UFC, man. Let's talk some MMA going on. This is a big event. I've been looking forward to this UFC 245 for a long time. Overall, we've been blessed with some really good events this year.
We have
some really good fights, some really good events, and this one here, this is pretty much a wrap up for the 2019
pay-per-view wrap up.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So you look at this card overall, and I just want to really talk about the main card because even the prelim card looks pretty good as well. But the main card is literally from jump. Every fight is one of those you can't leave the couch. Like you got to see that fight in its entirety. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to miss any action of it. Let's go ahead and start from the beginning here. So we got Uriah Faber, and then is that Peter Yan?
Yeah, Peter Yan.
Peter Yan. So you're going to be expert on this one here. I'm going to defer to you on a lot of this stuff here, but I want to kind of get your opinions and feels on a lot of these fights here and let the listeners know what you're thinking. So first of all, this fight here, this is a bantamweight fight. Uriah Faber, who is considered a MMA legend in a lot of circles there for us. What you thinking?
He's definitely a legend, but this I just don't think he's gonna win. He's coming out of retirement, a little older. You know what I mean? Whether only he knows how he feels, how he, you know what I mean? How he's gonna come out that night. But I'm gonna have to go with Peter Yan. That dude's on a hot streak. Plus his wrestling. I think he's just younger, stronger. Nothing against Faber. He might have technique, but I think Peter Yan is just gonna get it done, and I'm gonna say by decision too.
Decision win.
Yeah,
just kind of wear him out the whole time.
He might not be able to put Faber away unless he submits him. I can't see Faber getting knocked out, so I think it'll probably be like a real wrestling match, some striking in there. Faber taking a beating.
Okay, so that's Yan's pretty much his strength. His go-to is his wrestling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've heard it on several occasions. I'm a big Joe Rogan guy. You ever listen to his podcast?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big Joe Rogan guy. And he's always consistently saying that in terms of like MMA and UFC, like wrestling, if you got like a strong wrestling background, you're more than likely going to be the favorite in that matchup.
Yeah, I think that too. It all depends because like styles make fights and stuff like that. If you can get a guy who's okay at wrestling, but if you put him in against a striker, you can't get him down.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like this one and like Peter Yan and Faber, they both have good wrestling, but I think Peter's just going to dominate just because of youth.
Yeah.
So it's just like he's got the edge on that.
Okay. I feel you on that one there. All right. So, yeah, you're going with Yan, and I'm rolling with you. I'm going to roll with Yan as well. He is a favorite. He is a minus 247 at this point here. So, yeah. Next on the list here, we got Marlon. Let me see here. Marlon Moraes. Am I saying that right?
I think it's Marlon Moraes.
Moraes? Okay.
Yeah,
Marlon Moraes versus Jose Aldo. And this one here, I kind of looked at it, and I kind of figured this fight is really for whoever wins this fight kind of becomes the contender for that bantamweight championship title fight next up.
I can see that.
They're both coming off losses, right? I believe they're both coming off losses. Didn't Aldo lost his last fight?
Did he? Who's it?
Here, I'm about to pull it up right now. I was looking at it earlier and I thought I'd seen it right. I know that
Marlon is coming off of a loss.
Okay.
He just fought Henry Cejudo
for the belt.
His last fight,
Yeah, he fought it for the belt. Yeah, and then Aldo lost to Alexander
Volansky.
Yeah, Volansky. So they're both coming off losses here. But what are you thinking, man? How are you feeling about this fight?
That was a tough one because Marlon, like when he fought Henry, he was there in the first, and I thought he was giving it to Henry in the first first 2 rounds, but then he started to fade. Jose Aldo coming down to 135 after he already struggled a lot with 145.
Yeah,
I think that might be like a TJ Dillashaw without the EPO type of thing when he came down, because that weight cut takes a lot. And he's older.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I hate saying that he's older, because it's like maybe 10, 12 years older than us. It's not, I don't really consider that older, but in the game,
he's been fighting forever.
Yeah.
He's been fighting since he's been like a teenager, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It takes a toll. Like, it definitely takes a toll, man. He's only 33 years old, but still, man, the dude has over 30 professional fights.
Yep.
So I feel you on that one there. Yeah, and people don't know, like, they don't take that into consideration. Those weight cuts is brutal.
Yeah, I saw he just posted some photos recently of his on Instagram, like his training and stuff. He just looks small.
Yeah.
He looks sucked out, and it's just, like I said, only he knows how he's feeling.
Right.
We only get to see it that night, but
you see it a lot of times. These fighters will come in, they got to cut so much weight, and they just come in looking drained.
Right.
Like, you know who was like big for that for me when I seen it was Cormier. When he was fighting light heavyweight.
Yeah.
You just know he's not a light
see
heavyweight.
it in his face.
Right.
It's just
he does,
like,
especially like in the John Jones's fights, both the fights, he just looked outmatched, like totally outmatched. But then he goes as a heavyweight, just look a completely different fighter.
Yeah.
You know, look at just naturally. So yeah, the weight cuts is brutal. I like, so Marlon Moraes, what's his style like?
He is like an overall. He's almost like that complete fighter. Like he's good. Like feet, stand up wise is really good. He's got great kicks, punches, and then he does have Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I believe he has a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, and like his wrestling pedigree is pretty up there. This one, man, this is a pick'em fight. In all honesty, like I can't see Marlon losing, but at the same time, I think this one, it's either someone's going out or it's the decision.
Marlon Moraes is the favorite, light favorite. He's minus 170. Minus 200. So yeah, they pretty much are saying it's a pick'em as well. Vegas.
Yeah, that one's a tough one because like you've seen Jose Aldo come out against Jeremy Stevens, put him down with a body shot, and it's like, wow, he still got it, you know. But that was at 45,
right?
You know what I mean? So it's like 35. I don't think his power is going to be there, and Moraes is regularly fighting at 35, so I give the edge to him. I would take him.
Do you think ever since the Conor knockout of Aldo, he just hasn't been the same?
Yes and no. I feel like that knockout kind of has been overshadowing what he's doing. And like, you know what I mean? Because Conor's just a superstar, so when that happened, there was so much hype and everything. And then he just got dismantled in 13 seconds. It's like, wow.
That shit was bad.
You know what I mean? And he was, on top for 10 years undefeated. So that definitely took a toll. But in his few fights that he was winning, like Frankie Edgar, he was getting back into it. He looked all right, but he's at the same time, he's just not elite. Like, he's losing. He lost to Conor McGregor. He's losing to the Max Holloways.
Twice.
He loses to Marlon. You know what I mean? It's just the younger guys have his number, I think, now.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely seems like a young